Hello, beautiful people. I just wanted to share how God taught me why I should tithe. Even though I was brought up in a Christian home, I walked away from God when I was a teenager. So coming back to the Lord as an adult, I really didn't understand about tithing. And so I used to give a little bit of here and a little bit of there. And I used to think, I need every little bit of money. I barely got anything. So this became frustrating to me. I came home one Sunday and I thought, I'm not tithing anymore. So I said, God, I'm not tithing anymore. Unless you teach me yourself, I'm never going to tithe again in my life. And lo and behold, when I went to sleep that night, I woke up in a vision. Whenever God wanted to teach me something, usually He used the people that is the most dearest to my heart. I was with all my cousins and we was driving along in this ute. I was in the back road and all of a sudden I looked across the road and there was this most beautiful park with the luscious green grass and a hill on it. And I said, oh, look at that. Look what God created. And my cousins turned around to me and said, well, why don't we drop you off here? We're just going in there and then when we come out, we'll come pick you up. And I said, oh, okay. So I jumped out of the car and walked across the road because on the other side of the road was this big white building. I walked up to the hill and I'm looking around and I'm thinking, this is so beautiful. And I looked up to the heavens and I started talking to God and saying, Lord, look what you created. It is so beautiful. All of a sudden in the background, I heard this alarm, like the old-fashioned bell alarm. And I turned around and all of a sudden I saw my cousins. They were in the ute and they were coming out from under the car park really fast that they ended up spinning up on two wheels. And they started singing out, come on, hurry up, we've got to go. They were holding these bags of money. I turned around and I looked up to the heavens and I started pointing. I said, God, look what they're doing. They're robbing a bank. All of a sudden, the heavens opened up and God's voice just filled the sky. And He said, and what you're doing to me? And in that moment, I jumped up out of bed onto my feet before I could even wake up properly. And I said, Lord, forgive me. I realized that money was His all along. I had to give it to Him.
Malachi Chapter 3. Breaking covenant by withholding tithes. Verse 7. Ever since the time of your ancestors you have turned away from my decree, and have not kept them. Return to me, and I will return to you, saith the Lord Almighty. But you ask, how are we to return? Will a mere mortal rob God? Yet you rob me. But you ask, how are we robbing you? In tithes and offerings. 2 Corinthians chapter 9. Generosity. Verse 6. Remember this, whosoever sow sparingly will also reap sparingly, and whosoever sow generously will also reap generously. Each of you should give what you have decided in your heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. Malachi chapter 3, 10 to 11. Bring the whole tithes into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. Test me on this, saith the Lord Almighty, and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that there will not be room enough to store it.